Ontario's REDI pilot program has officially come to an end as of December 31st, 2025. In this video, we'll talk about what this actually means, how the program performs, and what comes next. Before we get started, my name is Madhur Parashar. I'm a licensed Canadian immigration consultant. My contact information is on this video and in the description. If you need help with your Canadian immigration applications, feel free to reach out. So the REDI pilot program stood for Regional Economic Development Through Immigration. This was a pilot program launched by Ontario government, and it was embedded within the employer job offer streams of OINP. The purpose of this program was to help employers located in certain northern and rural communities to help recruit and retain their employees and convert them to permanent residents through employer job offers. The pilot was scheduled to run from January 5th, 2025 to December 31st, 2025. And since we are now in January 2026, so the pilot program has officially ended. The province has not released any official announcement of extension of the pilot program or making it a permanent program or any such updates. So in the absence of any such announcement, we can assume that the REDI pilot has officially ended. In practical terms, that means that there will be no further REDI pilot program draws within OINP unless there is an announcement for an extension, redesign, or reintroduction in some new format. Let's do a quick recap of what this program was and how it worked. Under this program, up to 800 nomination spots were reserved for candidates with job offers from eligible employers in one of the 4 participating communities. The participating communities were Timmins, Sarnia, Lambton, Leeds and Granville, and Thunder Bay. If you had a qualifying job offer from an eligible employer in one of these 4 communities, and you were eligible for any one of the streams of Ontario's employer job offer stream, then you were eligible under the REDI pilot program. So 800 spots were reserved for 4 participating communities, which means roughly 200 spots for each of the participating communities within the employer job offer streams of OINP. And OINP conducted draws throughout 2025, specifically targeting the REDI pilot communities under the 3 employer job offer streams. Now, REDI was always labeled and branded as a pilot program, and by definition, pilot programs run for a limited period of time after which they end. Pilot programs, by definition, run for a specific period of time temporarily, and then the government analyzes the results to determine whether it was successful and whether it should be continued. So, was the REDI program successful? Well, based on the quotas allocated, the invitations issued, the nominations issued, I would say yes, it was a success. Many employers participated, they issued job offers, people were invited, nominations were issued, employers were able to retain nominated workers. So I would consider this a successful pilot. And therefore, the chances of this being extended are significantly higher. So initially, 800 nomination spots were reserved for REDI. If you add up all the invitations issued under REDI, that was about 900 to 950. Now, not all these applications are approved. Some are refused, rejected, or withdrawn. So around 800 might get approved. So the quota has been filled. And so I would consider this a successful pilot. So what happens next? Typically, after a pilot program expires, then the government collects and analyzes the data. And if it's successful, they might extend the pilot for another couple of years. They might put an end to it if it was failed, or they might convert it into a permanent new stream. A good example is Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. So it was a pilot program that ran for a couple of years. It was quite successful. It was very popular. So the government converted that pilot into a permanent stream, and it's called the Atlantic Immigration Program. So the same could happen with REDI because it seems to have been successful. Now, we also know that in parallel, Ontario government is working on revamping the OINP program. They're planning to introduce some new streams, collapse all the employer streams into a single stream, and so on. I've made a separate video about this. Make sure you go and watch that. So even if REDI pilot program was successful, it may not continue as a REDI program it may get embedded into one of the new streams. But one thing is clear, that the Ontario government is going to stick to its immigration strategy of moving immigration away from the GTA, Toronto, Ottawa region and towards northern and rural areas. That focus is likely to continue. So what does this mean for you as a candidate? It means that if you have a job offer outside of GTA region, then your chances of getting selected are pretty high. If your job offer is in Ontario GTA region, then your chances of selection are lower, and the chances exist only if you're in certain selected occupations that are in shortage occupations or high demand occupations. Occupations like finance, banking, and so on are not expected to receive nominations even if you have a job offer. In contrast to that, rural communities and smaller communities have a wider selection of NOCs in which nominations might be issued even if they are not in demand. For example, in the REDI communities, we are seeing even administrative and financial and business-based occupations receiving invitations to apply. But in GTA, we are not seeing any of that. So to summarize, the REDI pilot in its current format may have ended, but the overall trend of OINP nominations being issued to employer job offers in smaller communities will continue in one form or the other throughout 2026. Once we have an update on this program from OINP, we'll post an update on this channel. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. My name is Madhur Parashar. I'm a licensed Canadian immigration consultant. Feel free to reach out if you need help with your Canadian immigration applications.